Because I don't think Crawford's going to put him away, and I think Canelo's a much better mover than people give him credit for. And I think Crawford will be hit more and hit harder than he's ever been hit before, but I don't think he'll go out or down.
Consistent with Terence Crawford's fight schedule over the last several years, where he's been pretty much fighting one time a year. That one time a year is clearly giving him a lot of time to rest and recover from his injuries.
Boxing analysts are pointing out a critical weakness in Terence Crawford's latest training footage. Gareth, who initially favored Crawford to beat Canelo Alvarez, has now shifted his opinion. As fight night draws closer, he believes Canelo's punching power will present a challenge Crawford has never faced before. This change of heart reflects the growing doubts about whether Crawford can withstand the kind of heavy shots that Canelo is known for delivering at the sport's highest level.
Early on, very close rounds in the first 3 or 4. We'll be divided on who's winning. I think Canelo will get going in the second third of the fight and land some big shots. I think Crawford will look good as well. Rounds 6 to 9, we'll be looking at who's getting ascendancy in the fight. Crawford will have weathered the storm of the big Canelo punches, countered himself, still close rounds. I think Canelo will push away and, in my view, will win the fight. Because I don't think Crawford's going to put him away. And I think Canelo's a much better mover than people give him credit for. And I think Crawford will be hit more and hit harder than he's ever been hit before, but I don't think he'll go out or down. And if he does go down, he'll get up. I think it'll be a very, very close affair. And I think even if in those last 6 rounds, Crawford's got Canelo's number in terms of movement and timing, I still think if it's very close in rounds, I think it'll either be a draw or a narrow points decision for Saul Canelo Alvarez that everybody feels is very controversial, and then they'll do it again. That's how I see it playing. That's the plot, if you like, with the subplots in the drama of one of the biggest fights we've seen in Vegas since.
Gennady Golovkin's trainer has raised concerns about Crawford's ability to sustain stamina at a higher weight class. He predicts that Crawford could begin fading as early as the 4th round due to the sudden increase in body size and muscle mass. Carrying unfamiliar weight can slow down even elite fighters, draining energy quickly and creating frustration. Since Crawford has never fought at this weight before, the adjustments are massive. If he fails to pace himself correctly, he risks burning out before the fight even reaches the middle rounds.
Triple G's former trainer said that Crawford's gonna be quick in the first 4 rounds, but once Canelo figures him out and actually starts hitting Terence Crawford, in which Sanchez described as, quote, like a huge truck hitting him, it'll be game over for Terence Crawford. He explained that Crawford may not have the legs for someone like Canelo in the 168-pound division. Sanchez also added that if Canelo was eventually going to be Crawford's endgame, then Crawford should have jumped weight divisions a while back. Now, Crawford could have technically done that after the Spence fight. However, his once-a-year fight schedule prevented that from happening.
Rumors are circulating that Crawford may have suffered a shoulder issue during training for the Canelo fight. While not officially confirmed, the speculation alone has raised concern among experts and fans. A shoulder injury in boxing is serious, affecting everything from punch speed to blocking and range control. Even minor discomfort could reduce Crawford's effectiveness, and hesitation could creep in mentally. Given Canelo's power and experience, entering the ring at less than full strength makes the task even riskier. What was already considered a dangerous matchup could become nearly impossible if Crawford can't fully rely on his shoulders.
Solitary training camp and in every single solitary fight, a guy that is as old as Terence Crawford, 37, 38 years old, is going to have some type of injuries. They're going to have some type of old nagging type of stuff, especially a guy that works as ridiculously hard as Terence Crawford does. That was just a matter of time before wear and tear is going to start going and things are going to start popping off and going wrong, right? Also, you can tell that the reason that this is kind of consistent with Terence Crawford's fight schedule over the last several years, where he's been pretty much fighting one time a year. That one time a year is clearly giving him a lot of time to rest and recover from his injuries and gives his body time to heal up. And as a result, okay, he's ready to go during fight time. So I wouldn't put too much on this. I would say though that if you're a gambling person, man, you should probably want to keep your money in your pocket for this particular fight, man, because this thing can absolutely positively go either way with between the two of these guys. Canelo Alvarez is an exceptional fighter, much bigger than Terence Crawford is, or been fighting at a much bigger weight class than Terence Crawford's been fighting at, and much more experienced at that level at 168 pounds. But Terence Crawford is just such a superb fighter and such an intelligent fighter in there that you can know that he's going to be coming there to fight, and he's got a significant chance to win that fight. Unless, of course, that injury is real. I mean, and it is significant and is preventing him from, really sitting down on his punches, because he's going to have to at a point in time with Canelo Alvarez is going to have to do something to get him up off of him.
Keith Thurman has offered a grounded take on the upcoming showdown. He acknowledged that although Canelo Alvarez has losses on his record, those setbacks have only made him a more complete fighter. Thurman reminded fans that having weaknesses doesn't make Canelo easy to beat. His experience, durability, and overall skill set still make him extremely dangerous. For Crawford to succeed, he must reach a level he has never displayed before against a fighter with Canelo's size, pedigree, and championship-tested resume.
An unbeatable fighter. That's fine. None of us are really unbeatable, right? But people got to understand this. Canelo Alvarez is not an unbeatable fighter. The question is, whoever he's fighting, we don't question what Canelo's going to do, right? We question what his opponents are going to do, right? It's not even really about Canelo. Canelo's going to show up as Canelo Alvarez, right? Ginger boy. So the question is, are you going to beat him? And are you going to beat him today? Like when fight night happens, is it you? And is it now? You ready to beat him now? He's not unbeatable. Maybe you can beat him, but are you going to do it? And are you going to do it now? You feel me? Because I thought Danny Jacobs was going to have a way better performance.
Danny actually performed well against Canelo, but he didn't take any chances. He was doing just enough to not get beaten.
And Canelo was feeling himself. Canelo had preparation. He had that head movement, losing to Floyd, this and that. He fought some flat-footed fighters. He got used to getting his head here and there and ducking down and then pulling out and spinning out and little tactics. I've never seen somebody make Danny Jacobs miss so many punches. It was highly impressive. I did not expect that, because of the amateur pedigree growing up with Danny Jacobs. I know exactly what kind of New York fighter he is.
Footage from the recent face-off between Crawford and Canelo surprised many viewers. Crawford appeared larger than expected, nearly matching Canelo in size. While some see this as a positive sign that Crawford has successfully added mass, others caution that bulk alone doesn't guarantee strength or stamina. The real question is whether Crawford can carry that weight naturally over 12 rounds without sacrificing speed and endurance. Looking big at a face-off is one thing. Maintaining performance in the ring is another challenge entirely.
With that said, they're going to face off in an epic showdown. And the big talk, obviously, is the size difference, right? that Canelo Alvarez is much bigger than the smaller Terence Bud Crawford, who is essentially coming up from 147 in the minds of many. But really and truly, he's coming up from 154 because he actually had a fight at 154, a titled opportunity, his only fight at 154 last August when he took on Israel Madrimov, okay? And he beat Israel Madrimov, unanimous decision, to become a 4-division champion. But as you see here in this photo, there's not a big size difference. And actually, obviously, we know Terence Crawford stands at 5'8", got a 74-inch arm reach. Canelo stands at 5'7" with a 70-inch arm reach. There's not a massive size difference at all whatsoever. Now, clearly, as you see, Terence Crawford clearly has on what looks like Balenciaga shoes, and we know they are extremely big shoes, and it make you slightly taller. And Canelo Alvarez has on flats. The thing here is, the more important thing is, not if Terence Crawford can take Canelo Alvarez's punches. It's not if Terence Crawford, is going to get bullied around the ring. The concern with the weight is how Terence Crawford carries it himself. Does he start to fatigue in the second half of the fight? Should he get to the second half of the fight?
Former champion Timothy Bradley Jr. believes Crawford's best chance lies in starting fast. Bradley explained that Canelo typically grows stronger as fights progress, making the later rounds more dangerous. Because Crawford is also carrying added weight, conserving energy for a late surge may not be realistic. Instead, Bradley urges Crawford to lean into his explosiveness, speed, and sharp reflexes to disrupt Canelo's rhythm early. By forcing the pace and taking risks in the opening rounds, Crawford could surprise Canelo and gain control before fatigue sets in.
Yeah, he can move a little bit, but yeah, he likes to come forward with that power. But you put him on his back foot. Let me tell you similar too. Remember, you know this guy named Usyk who put Fury on his back foot? Yeah, push the pace on him. Yeah, with volume, feints. Put Canelo on his back foot, Crawford. That's what you gotta do. You gotta put him on his back foot. Hell to the damn yeah. That's how you get it done, man. That's one aspect that you're gonna have to do. And hey, I would advise you to do it as early as damn possible. Do it as early as possible, because guess what? If you do that, you're gonna get control right away of the judges, right? They're gonna be looking at you. You're gonna dictate the pace. You're gonna dictate the flow of the fight. You gotta have him react to you, not you reacting to him. That's how you gain control of the fight real quick, real soon. Get active with that jab. You don't necessarily have to come out in a southpaw stance. You can come out in the orthodox stance. You know, what's the punch that always hits Canelo all the time? Easy work, the jab. Triple G was able to land his jab over and over. Floyd Mayweather was able to land his jab over and over. Bivol was able to land his jab over and over. You control him, you push him back, you walk forward. Anytime Canelo give you an inch going back, you take that inch going forward. That's how you gonna get this done. You gonna have to be brave, my man Crawford. You gonna have to be brave. You gonna have to be on your P's and Q's when you walking forward as well, because he will snap back. He will snap back with them left hooks, right hands to the body, or looping right hands over the top, or even straight right hands. Sometimes he might even come with a two-piece combination. But you got to put him on his back foot as often as possible, man. With your how cerebral you are, with your feints, with your movement, snapping that jab.
Crawford's sparring partner, Al Stanton, has given a reassuring perspective from inside the camp. He described Crawford as powerful, sharp, and fully capable of handling larger opponents in training. Stanton insists that Crawford is adjusting smoothly to the added weight and looks strong against heavier fighters. His comments provide hope for fans concerned about Crawford's adaptation, suggesting that his natural athleticism and relentless work ethic are carrying him through this transition successfully.
He's very good at kind of holding fighters, putting his weight on them. You're a big boy for 168, Al, so how did he manage and cope with that when you kind of picture Canelo doing that to him?
Nah, he's strong. That man is strong. He's strong. So I don't think he'll have a problem, you know what I'm saying, with that.
What do you think, from your takeaways from that sparring, is the key for Terence to defeat Canelo Alvarez?
Just use his skills. I think he has the better skills, and I'd say just box him, you know what I mean? Just box him the whole night.
Given your experiences with him, and as you mentioned, you know, he's strong in those sparring sessions, do you have no doubts then that when he's in there at 168, he'll feel fully fledged and capable of performing for those 12 rounds?
Yeah. For 37 years old, like, he's training like he's like 25. Like, I don't think there'll be no problem at all with the fight.
What do you think he has to be mindful of that Canelo can produce? What do you think he has to be wary of in that fight?
Power. That's it. Just power.
Sean Porter has praised Crawford's disciplined approach to adding weight. Instead of bulking up quickly, Crawford gradually increased his size, first by about 10 pounds, then by another 10, allowing his body to adapt at each stage. Porter observed that the weight is distributed evenly, meaning Crawford has retained his trademark speed and agility. For a fighter whose style depends on sharpness and mobility, this careful, strategic weight gain could prove vital in competing with Canelo's size and strength.
Thing a fighter can do when he's trying to gain 10 pounds to fight at another weight class is hit the weights, up your protein and things of that nature. I saw the man eat. The man is eating brilliantly. You know, he's doing it all right. And that's what I meant when I said, you know, when he decided to take on this challenge in Canelo Alvarez, it takes a good 2 years to successfully put on 10 pounds, along with successfully putting on 10 pounds to get your body to acclimate to that weight, right? So when people talk about him being out of the ring for 13 months, they really have to also accept they have to understand that he's been working and training for everything that he needs to do on fight night against Canelo Alvarez.
So you saw him in camp as he was building and putting that weight on, and you said that you think he's doing it right. From what you saw then from training, do you think he's carrying the weight well then?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I saw it in his legs. I could see it in his arms and his shoulders. And it's distributed evenly. You'll get a lot of guys who are bottom heavy. You know, they don't have much on the top half. So once you get to the inside, they don't have a lot that they can do with you from this standpoint. I know a lot of people are concerned with Canelo Alvarez. Should he get in close? What's the strength situation going to be like? Well, Crawford's put on the right muscle mass in the chest area, in the ab region, and in the arms and things of that nature. I think he's going to be able to handle the strength just fine.
That wraps up today's update. Stay locked in. More fight news and analysis are coming soon. Until next time,